graceful. You are as graceful as a count of 9. It's a funny text. What up, people? Today we are going to talk about mid match. Finally, I know you all wait very long. But to be honest, right, I have talked about what to talk about today with my friends, with the clique with a few people But honestly, right, no matter how many times I think, right, there's only 2 ways you can play this. The standard way, which is you have all the staples cards, or the second way is actually you go YOLO all the way. So basically just throw in whatever rush you want, or whatever kind of cards that can help you in the mid game itself. Because ultimately, to me, Backlash is like a second hand. Because Backlash deck is something you can see anytime in the middle of the game. So you can just play cards from there, or whatever combo you want to pull, you can just use cards from there. So that's essentially how Backlash works. But the mainstream way, which I'm going to talk about, is not the way I talk about the Rush one. That one is a more advanced playstyle. You all want to go and try that one, your own self go and see. Feel free to debate, but I will talk about how to play it in the normal way. So the staples for Backlash. First card that I want to introduce is Sustain Damage. To me, it is a need. Every single deck need to have this. At first, I don't actually play Sustain Damage unless I can draw, like for example, Mankind, Spike, Dudley, Carlito. But I was wrong because there is something called cheese in rawdeal. So, fuck, I don't remember. Precision Kick, Atomic Lariat, Precision Haymaker, Precision Sleeper. This kind of can only be reversed, cannot be reversed one. You are going to need sustain for it because sometimes you just cannot reverse and you just want to take the full damage. So that's one way. The other most popular way for sustain damage is to reduce the damage until it's 7 or below. So once you play sustain damage, you play on a few maneuver is successful already. You cannot do anything else already. So you have to start overturning by discarding 1 card for sustain, right? So for example, it's a Sucker Punch, so 8 damage. You discard 1 card, the damage becomes 6. You start overturning. If you turn out an elbow, you can stop your opponent damage right there. So this is one of the ways to use it And sustain damage is very good to discard Divine out from your hand, and for hit it is very useful also, and for blindside it's also very useful So you can stack your ringside power armory. But that kind of traits I will talk in the later of the videos so not now. Second card, Road to Victory. So this one actually just blank your opponent mid-match card So whatever normal action cards they play, which is a non-unique opponent, you will blank it for a turn, including the damage. But take note, when the next turn comes, right, the card effects just come back out again. So if it's something that is active, right, or constantly check, like for example, ready to fight, there's an ace over there, you can actually still ace it to do whatever effects you want to do. But essentially it's just to end your opponent's turn. So use it whenever possible. So that's how normally people play Road to Victory. Third card, also a staple, Graceful. You are as graceful as a count of 9. It's a funny text. Very staple. This card is to stop your opponent's momentum. So essentially stop all the rush deck. So for example, if people like to play like chain a lot of shit together, right? You can essentially use Graceful because this one reverse any card played. It's not the first or second card played this turn. So stop your opponent momentum. Fourth card. This one depends It's not Backlash It's a very old school card, so reverse any strike, grapple or submission if it's not the first maneuver played. Again is to stop opponent momentum, and the 0-3 damage is actually quite useful. You can link to a shoot counter, you can link to a lot of other damage For example, apply is also another classic card that you can link it with So 0-3 So for those people that like to rush without using the cheese move one, also have to watch out for this card And from now on, to me, is the secondary staple cards that you should put. The fifth card, King Interfere or Outside Interference. So basically, reverse any maneuver or reverse any maneuver But you all need to take note, this is a raw and this is a run-in card. But however, it's still useful, it's 10 fortitude and 3 damage. So any foreign object or any maneuver 10D or greater. But for female, right, 6D. Like what my friends say over here, if you are female, you don't use this, it's a bit stupid. It's 6D any maneuver. So OI, which is outside interfere, you actually need a manager to play that. So pre-match, you have a manager that you can play that. 11 42, right? 11, and then king is 10 10 to reverse any maneuver once you got 10 fort. And then the other card, the 6th card will be SOB. It reverse any ace So either you have managed by Don Marie or you have this card just so that you have something in general to stop opponent ace If you don't have this kind of card, right, basically if opponent ace something in the first turn of the game, you are basically fucked already if you don't have the staple reversals also. Staple reversals I will talk in the next video also, not now. And then for the 7th card, cards like undermine your the competition. So you control your opponent fortitude So if they like to rush, and then you just take and then you take until they do something stupid like apply, right, 3 fortitude and 7, right, you use undermine, you take the full 7 damage, and then opponent fortitude have to be controlled all the way to 3. So basically this is the staple at least for me when I'm playing raw. Again, take note, sustain damage, road to victory, graceful and backlash. This is the 4 staple cards that I recommend if you all just start the game, right. Just spec this 4. The other 6 you all want to put what is your problem. And for the other staple cards for actions and maneuvers and all that, right, if you don't play any chain or any funny maneuvers, right, I recommend you all start off with something like for the love of the game. So for example, if opponent start first, right, you can play for the love of the game. But actually this is quite an advanced card to use. So if you all don't know how to use, it's okay. But I will explain in the future. Card similar to this is Dirty Logo. But I don't see a lot of people packing Dirty Logo nowadays, but it is still very useful because it can only be reverse maneuver, can only be reverse from Arsenal if your fortitude rating is lower than your opponent. I can be wrong. And then third kind of maneuver will be the Panic series. So you connect Panic with another card, like for example Clutch, and then you Panic, grab, throw, strike, I don't know, assault. And then you can straight away use that one plus clutch and then straight away apply it. So that's one way to guarantee your clutch go in, and then you can straight away apply. You need to think of the second fort or third fort. So that's one way also. And then after apply go in, you can atomic like that. Then after atomic like that, you can precision haymaker. Whatever you all want to link or precision slipper, so cheese So that's one way of playing also. And basically that's it for me today. That's simply just mid-match. Consider it your second hand and consider it your backup. Staple reversals are sustain, road, backlash, and road to victory. Just make sure you all have that. So that's it for me today. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.